All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division and 168, where we got a good problem, and it is Gervonta Davis lashing out at Canelo Alvarez fans and letting them know what he thinks about his status in boxing versus Canelo Alvarez's. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are in the aftermath of a terrific year in boxing where there's been a lot of big fights and a lot of big egos created. Also, very successful monetary events monetarily with really big gates. And so you got fans who are arguing about and going at boxers about their perception of their value. And in this case, you have apparently a Canelo Alvarez fan that goes at Gervonta Davis, and Gervonta Davis responds with, look, this boxing ish is mine, buddy. F a weight class, I'm the face of boxing. And that is a mighty bold claim out of Gervonta Tank Davis. However, it's a claim that very well may be he's well within his rights to say. And we'll talk about specifically why. Obviously, there are other people that are saying that no, it's Canelo Alvarez. And you actually have people that says it's Terrence Crawford as well, even though the Terrence Crawford part, I don't see it. But before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does make a gigantic difference to the channel. But let's get into this because, you know, we had that big fight this weekend between Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo. Canelo Alvarez won pretty much every round of the fight. I think maybe one round might have went to Jermell Charlo, depending on how you scored it. But it was a lopsided fight. And it was a very big event. If you look at what's going on inside the T-Mobile Arena, once again, it was sold out with a very large gate. According to Steven Espinoza of Showtime, it was the third fight this year that did over a $20 million gate. So people feeling real froggy about the star power of Canelo Alvarez. Hey man, you got all the right in the world to do that. However, Gervonta Davis has all the right in the world to tell you, nah, man, it's me. Now, why would he be able to say that to fans of the great Canelo Alvarez? And it is that Gervonta Davis outperformed him this year as far as the revenue and the gate and all of that stuff. Gervonta is the one that set the record this year. He did, I do believe, a $23 million gate. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford did over $20 million. That's what was said. And now Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo did over 20. So as far as the gate goes, Gervonta Davis has a very solid point. Then obviously you have another thing that comes into play, which is the pay-per-view buys, right? Now the pay-per-view buys, we don't know yet, but I will be absolutely shocked and amazed if Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo do over half of what Canelo did with Ryan Garcia. And if you do twice the pay-per-view and you're the A side or you're the big attraction to the pay-per-view, I don't know what else you can really say. Now, my personal opinion on it is this, that, you know, it is yet to be proven. Let me put it this way. Let me play devil's advocate here. It is yet to be proven that Canelo Alvarez, that Gervonta Davis can, in a pay-per-view, do bigger numbers than Canelo if he doesn't have a really big name fighter fighting him. Now, I don't really know how big a name that Ryan Garcia really is, right? But there was a lot of anticipation to that fight, and it really blew it out the park. Where, you know, the people that Canelo fought, Canelo's last fight was John Ryder before this Jermell Charlo fight. You know, that may not really get a fan base outside of Canelo Alvarez extremely interested in it and extremely interested in the fight. But, you know, that's a lot of speculation, really. Gervonta, but what this particular guy said about Gervonta, which says Gervonta's a nobody outside the 135-pound division, I mean, that's just a moronic statement. It's another level of just moronic. You know what I mean? Number one, he only can fight in one weight division. He can only fight in one weight division. Number two, the big fight that he had wasn't even in that weight division. The big fight that he had was against Ryan Garcia, and technically speaking, that was a 140-pound weight division. Also, when you say outside of the division, you're a nobody, then you could say the same thing about Canelo. Well, Canelo outside of 168 is a nobody, right? Or Floyd outside of 147 is a nobody. What do you mean outside of a weight class? It's a fight in a weight class, but the fight is actually in a stadium and it's on television. So you think that all of a sudden, if Gervonta Davis moves up to 140 and fights on a pay-per-view, that he's a nobody? Well, if you think that, you're wrong, because he moved up to 140 and had a very successful pay-per-view against Mario Barrios. He also fought at 130 pounds and had another successful pay-per-view and gate against Leo Santa Cruz. The man has literally had big fights in 3 weight divisions. However, I still don't get the concept of outside of 135, you're a nobody. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But as far as who the face of boxing is, whether it is Canelo, whether it is Gervonta, or whether it's somebody else, truth be told, man, is that there's just a lot of really good fights taking place right now. And Canelo ain't starving, and nor is Canelo really in competition with Gervonta. And Gervonta isn't really in competition with Canelo Alvarez. Those guys are both in different weight classes. They're fighting entirely different sets of fighters. They really do have significantly different fan bases. I'm sure Canelo and the Mexican fan base is bigger that Canelo is bigger than Gervonta in his fan base. Gervonta is bigger than Canelo for sure in Gervonta's fan base. And I think they both have crossover fans between the Mexican and the American fan bases. But at the end of the day, this is all a very, very good problem to have. It's great that Canelo is putting on big fights again, and he's not hiding his light behind under a bushel, which is what I call the time that he spent on his European tour and fighting over there at the Zone, where there wasn't just people didn't care about the people that he's fighting. Over at the PBC or on Showtime, where he's got a bunch of fights that people are going to be interested in, you will very well see his fights start doing very, very, very well and better than they were doing over there on the Zone, because, you know, he's just got a better promotional team and a better outlet that has more direct connections with the people that are actually buying the fights than he had when he was over there on the Zone. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.